That very ineffective money management on the part of the FOMC. Long-term rates lag short-term rates and are actually set by the free market. And during the 5-year real estate boom, it's important to remember that rising short-term interest rates did nothing to slow the boom. And today, falling short-term rates will do nothing to stop the bust. Short-term interest rates are artificially set by the Fed and have little to do with real-world economic conditions, while long-term rates are in fact set by the free market. A severely declining, and this is very important to connect these last 2 points, a severely declining or plunging U.S. dollar will put huge upward pressure on long interest rates. Japan tried it, and it failed. Japan cut its interest rates to virtually zero, and its real estate depression still lasted 15 years. Now, when people in banks are frightened, the reality is that people don't borrow and banks don't lend, regardless of how low interest rates go. So there are several flaws, fatally flawed issues with the bailout scheme. The government mortgage bailout plan, called the New Hope Alliance, is a plan to freeze certain subprime mortgage resets over the next 5 years, a 5-year timeout, if you will. The stated purpose of the New Hope Alliance is to prevent or delay foreclosures. Foreclosures, unfortunately, are a symptom, not the problem itself. The real problem is that millions of people bought overpriced houses that they could not afford. And they were hoping all along that rising house prices would provide a ready source for cash out of mortgage money. House prices are no longer rising. They're falling. That is the root of the current crisis. The government arm reset freeze does nothing to halt falling prices. This is very important to ponder. The Bush freeze is patently illegal. It totally violates contract law. If the government can arbitrarily change hundreds of thousands of contracts to the benefit of subprime borrowers and the detriment of tens of thousands of investors and lenders, the sanctity of all contract law in America is in jeopardy. And perhaps you say it's better for the man on the street, therefore we break the law and it's all right in the end because we were serving a greater good. The problem is foreign confidence in American financial contracts will plunge. Foreigners bought. Foreigners who are our creditors today. We are the largest debtor nation in the world, and foreigners hold our paper. Foreign confidence in American financial contracts will plunge. Foreigners bought billions in U.S. mortgages with expected returns that included future rate adjustments. Bush is illegally negating hundreds of thousands of contracts. And of course, in the wake of that, an avalanche of lawsuits will follow. Conclusion, our government and Fed and financial leaders are desperate, panicking, and have lost control. They're creating hundreds of billions of dollars and throwing them at the problem and other ill-conceived schemes like the bank bailout asset freeze. The Paulson plan we can cover in the question and answer period if you'd like. Foreign banks and investors understand that and will flee the U.S. dollar while unleashing a firestorm of lawsuits. Real estate will continue to tumble and the mortgage and bank problems will continue to hemorrhage. The credit crunch is and will continue to deepen. $1 trillion price decline is already history and much more is to come. 1 in 5, 20% of U.S. mortgages are now subprime, totaling trillions of dollars. A high percentage of these loans will go into foreclosure. 40% of the problem mortgages we see now are not subprime, these are prime mortgages. We're not talking about the man who couldn't afford it. We're now talking about the man that could afford the home and is now upside down on the loan. Severe recession or depression will follow.